I hope you guys are as excited about Q4 as I am, because I came into Redbubble just before Christmas last year. I made a few sales which were really exciting over Christmas, and now that I have a proper shop and I have designs that are regularly selling, I know, well, I hope my Q4 is going to be really, really good. Some people report at least doubling their sales in Q4. Other people sometimes quadruple them. But if I can aim for doubling up on my sales in Q4, I'll be happy. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to tell you what I'm doing to optimize all the designs I already have on my Redbubble store to make sure everything is perfect, and then I'm giving myself as much of a chance with all my existing designs going into Q4, as well as just keep adding stuff wherever I can. So let me take you through what I'm doing, and hopefully that'll help you guys prepare your shops for Q4. I just pulled this image from the internet, and I'm going to take you through how we're going to optimize this before we put it on our Redbubble store, so you are absolutely 100% ready for Q4. I've got my design here. This is similar to a lot of the designs I do already have on my Redbubble, just simple white transparent designs. What I normally do is I have 2 layers when I'm working on my design, because a lot of mine are white, because I design specifically for dark colors. I'll always have a bottom layer that's just a dark color, so I can see what I'm working with. Rightio, so let's make sure this is ready to go. So the first thing I want to do is make my artboard 2000 by 2000 pixels. So I'm working in a nice square workspace. Next, I've created my design, I'm happy with it. What I will then do is I'm going to go and open up my align panel here. And what I want to do is make sure that this is perfectly centered within my artboard. So I'm going to go to align to artboard, and then I'm going to align it horizontally and vertically as well. So that is perfectly in the middle of my artboard. Now, sometimes your eyes can trick you. Now it looks, even though this is perfectly centered in the artboard, it looks like there's a lot more space here. So if you're feeling that, then probably people who are looking at your design will feel that too. So sometimes it might be worth just adjusting things a little bit. And if you eyeball it and it looks better, then go for it. But for the most part, everything should align nicely in the middle. Okay, now we're happy with our design. We want to export it. I'm just going to hide my colored layer here, and we'll go into File, Export As. So I want to keep my transparency, so I'll always export as PNG. I'm going to click on Use Artboards. By selecting Artboards, it means that the same amount of white space, if I just cancel this, it's going to export all of this area as well as transparent space. And sometimes that's great if you want to work in patterns, because it'll give you some space between the repeating elements of your design. Now, if I don't export using the artboards, I will just get this shape here. I always export using artboards unless the specific design calls for me to not do that. So we're going to use our artboards. I'm going to go to export. I'm going to make sure my resolution is 300 pixels per inch. And what that will do is that's going to bloat this image out, because I'm telling it that I want a high resolution. If I exported this for screen at 72 ppi, I'm going to end up with an image that's exactly the size of my artboard, 2000 by 2000. Now, because I want to use this image across the board, across every product, including, king size duvets, I want it to be the highest resolution I possibly can. So I'm going to press OK. Oh, let's see, I'm talking so much, I'm forgetting what I'm doing. Let's just do that again. Export as, use artboards, export 300. We'll keep it as art optimized, and make sure your background color is transparent, and hit OK. And now if I go to where this is stored, so if I hover over this here, we can see our dimensions are 8334 by 8334. Redbubble will be happy with that resolution, and all of our designs are going to look nice and crisp with a nice small file size as well. Okay, so let's upload to Redbubble. I'm going to go to upload all products. I'm going to find our image and open. Okay, so now bear in mind, what I wanted to do is I wanted to add a new piece of art so I could show you this process. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go into every single one of your designs and do this very thing. There's so many new products, and what Redbubble don't do is they don't automatically enable your designs on those specific products. They want you to go in and make sure they are absolutely optimized for the product. I feel for those people who have hundreds upon hundreds of designs and have to do that. I only have about 150 designs and it's a ball ache. So I'm going to show you this process because this is what you're going to have to do with every single one of your existing designs. And what I would advise while you're doing that, just make sure that everything is as optimized as it can be for every product. So I'm going to show you this process, but make sure when you're doing this, when you're enabling all these extra products, have a look at how your design sits on each of these products. Okay, enough talking. Let's just jump back in, shall we? You're probably used to, as soon as you add a design, all of these are enabled, but because there's been new products, you have to manually go in and enable the rest of these. So I'm just going to edit this. Okay, so let's just give this a black background as well and make it a little bit bigger. Now, what you want to remember, there's so many designs I see on Redbubble that people just leave it smack bang in the middle. Unless you've got a big design that covers this whole area, you should never be leaving a design like that. You want it on the chest. And a good rule of thumb is to have the design about 4 fingers from the collar, like so. I think this design will work better just being that little bit smaller. And when you're adjusting the size, always on Redbubble, go back to center your design, because even if I didn't touch this and change the size, it always puts it slightly out of whack. So spend a bit of time to make sure that that's between 3 and 4 fingers from the top of the collar, nicely centered. And then you want to go into availability and markup, and you want to make sure that all the relevant designs that you want on these products are enabled. So there's 3 new kids products over here. So enable those, apply your changes, and then just work your way through. Okay, so here we have our sticker. Now, so like I said before, I mainly design white on dark. And with my stickers, this is what I'm left with. So what I normally do in that case is I do a slight variation of my sticker. So I'm going to go back into my design. I'm going to leave this layer live and I'm going to put another layer on top of it. Just select it, Control copy, hide that one, Control Shift V to paste in place. I'm going to color it in black. Okay, File, Export As. Just pin that with black. Boom. And then I just have a black version for the sticker. Go back into Redbubble and see how quick that was. It's not a lot of work, just to make sure, instead of just disabling it because you think, oh, well, it's not going to work with the sticker. Don't. Either give it a black outline if you want to keep it as a white design, but for the most part, I always just flip it. And there you have a perfectly good sticker. Phone wallets, I'm kind of mixed. Sometimes I just bloat my design, make it abstracty so it covers the whole of the phone case. Other times I will just make it small and put it on the front. Just eyeball it, whatever you think looks best for your particular design, go with that. With every new design that you put up should already have your shower curtains and comforters enabled. You shouldn't have to go in, but you will have to go into your existing designs and just make sure you go into this little cogwheel area and tick all of the ones you want to enable your design on. I'm going to enable my leggings. Sometimes the leggings, I just zoom it all up to make some abstract kind of design. Mini skirts, same story. Sometimes I'll leave it as is, but I can't picture anyone wearing a skirt like that, to be honest. I could imagine someone wearing a skirt like that though. Scarves are either I'll put it into a pattern, depending, or I'll just bloat out the image quite large and make it take over the entire scarf. It all depends, guys. Don't have a one rule fits all for your designs, because different designs will work in different ways on different products. But what you want to make sure is everything is properly aligned. Every time, like I did, adjusting that, make sure you're adjusting your vertical and horizontal alignment, because Redbubble, unlike TeePublic, will always knock it out of whack. Okay, so now we're working our way through to a lot of the newer products now. So what I would do is make sure on your throw blankets and wall tapestries, sometimes your design by default is going over to the clipped area here. So just always open it up. You can't tell from this preview image, to make sure your design isn't going into that space, and hit OK. Bath mats are always default disabled, so get it enabled. So water bottles are a funny beast. You can't give them a background within this section here. So if you're doing a white design, you need to make sure you're giving it a background. But if I gave this a background, it kind of stops about there. So I'll have black up till there, and then my ohm sign, which I think looks a bit funky. So I try not to give things a background when I'm doing my water bottle. So in this instance, I'm going to replace the image and I'm going to give it the same image as I gave my sticker. Just going to make it black. Okay, so I've got everything enabled that I want there. Tote bags are a funny beast, because like the water bottles, if you give it a background, it's going to give you a big square of that particular color. It's not going to color the entire bag. So for the most part, try and design so that you don't need a background. Your socks should be automatically enabled on any new products you do. So again, I don't know if this works well as a sock. Can make it patterned. Forgive me, I haven't spent a lot of time on socks, but that looks okay. We'll apply those changes. So there you have it, guys. I just wanted to show you with a fresh upload the process to make sure every possible thing is enabled. So if you go into any one of your older designs, go into edit mode and make sure all of these are enabled. Make sure everything is aligned centrally if that's your design style and you don't design for patterns. That's a different story. Don't throw it in by disabling white designs because you have this white outline and you won't be able to tell it on Redbubble. Just do another variation of the color, or make it so they can still buy a sticker in that design. Don't just call it in and disable it, because you're just shooting yourself in the foot. And then I know, guys, after you've done all of that, you're just going to want to phone it in with the most important bit, which is your title, tags, and description. Don't do that. Put all your research that you've done into your keywords straight into your work here, so you can really see some results from your design and you'll be ready to go. Right, guys, so let's aim to double our earnings in Q4. Let me know how it goes. Prepare. And come January, we can have a little update on how things went. So in summary, you want to optimize all your existing designs. Make sure they're aligned how they need to be aligned. Get rid of backgrounds if you don't need them. Try and make all your designs transparent. Make sure they're exported at a nice high DPI so they look crisp on even the largest products Redbubble has to offer. So optimize your existing work. Don't let all the existing work that you've done go to waste. Secondly, enable all the new products. Go into all your old designs and enable them. If you need to do slight tweaks to your existing designs to make sure it looks best on those particular products, do it. Spend the time to make sure your existing designs are as optimized as they can be and ready for selling. Next, just keep grinding. Whenever you have some time between, if you've got full-time work, part-time work, if you've got some time over the weekends, keep researching, keep designing, keep uploading. And one more bonus tip before we go, if you have some designs that are already selling and you haven't really done any continuation on like a series of that type of design, do it. Use that. People obviously like that thing in your design, whatever it may be, the color, the lines, the simplicity. Use it and make a series of similar designs, pop it into a collection and see if you can leverage the sales you're already making on that particular thing. Just expand on that niche that you found. So that's all from me, guys. Make sure you're spending the time on your designs. Let me know how you're getting on. If you have any tips for me, please, I'm always quite active in the comments. Thank you for everyone who's subscribed recently. You make my day every time I see I've got a new subscriber. It's yes, and I know I don't upload as much as I should, and yes, thank you. I'm going to keep doing these. Whatever you enjoy, you seem to enjoy my Redbubble content, so I'm just going to keep making it. So if you have any useful tips for me, let me know in the comments, because this is all new, relatively new to me too. So I'm still learning every single day, and I'm trying to give you guys what I'm learning as I go, because it's not a competition. We can all do well. My doing well doesn't relate to you not doing well, if that makes any kind of sense. We're not in competition with each other, although some people do like to steal designs, and that's why I don't like showing my shop. It's not anything personal, it's one of those things. You'll always get people who try and see what you're selling the most of, and yeah, unfortunately there's always those types of people. But we are not in competition. Let's share the knowledge. Let's all try and have a really kick-ass Q4. All right guys, until next time, bye.